are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Info Media.
Hello and welcome to Enterprise IT World Media and CIOTV.live. Today is day 2, GISEC 2025. We have been meeting so many thought leaders of cybersecurity and the experts in the landscape, trying to understand about their viewpoints in terms of whether it is diagnostics or prognostics, attacks, the attack vector, the landscape, and their suggestion in terms of mediation. So now in that series I have Anton Shipulin. Anton is an industrial cybersecurity evangelist for Nozomi Networks. Nozomi Networks is a company which is providing 360 degree of solutions as far as OT, IoT, and IT security is concerned. Anton, thank you very much for taking time out and stepping into our booth to share your insights.
Thank you for having me.
This is day 2, Anton. How do you see? How has been your experience so far?
Oh, I really like GISEC. GISEC is a big international event, lots of familiar faces, lots of important meetings with our clients, partners, friends, the community who's doing especially my topic, OT cybersecurity. So I love being here. It's not my first time, and I will always try to come here in the future, next years.
All right. This reason you can see. Particularly the GCC countries, we can see a lot of heavy industrial activities happening, be it oil and gas or even these days manufacturing. So operational technologies related to that, IoT, industrial OTs, things are taking place, getting integrated into the system. With that, it brings a lot of vulnerability also, because the bad actors who are on the other side, they always are lurking around and looking for the chances. So what is your assessment of this region?
Well, you're right, and it's a big problem globally, the attacks on critical infrastructure, and especially for GCC market, GCC countries, because they really rely on critical infrastructure such as oil and gas, energy, water treatment, the energy utilities. This is the really life important systems, and that's why we see the threat landscape is growing in terms of nation state attackers due to international conflicts, military conflicts. We see the ransomware gangs, cyber criminals who want to attack the companies for getting money. We see the hacktivists, again, motivated politically. They try to deliver some message, or they work together with nation state. And it's also important not to forget about insiders. Sometimes groups and people who get access, legally get access to the system, like partners, system integrators, vendors, and employees, they also might be sometimes a problem, like intentionally or unintentionally. Those 4 groups, quite focal groups for attacks on the threats to critical infrastructure and industrial control systems.
So we'll come back to that, but my first understanding from you will be, you must be speaking to the customers here, the CEOs, the C-suite, who are stakeholders of OT and IoT. What are you hearing from them in terms of their establishment, how ready they are, how prepared they are for any adverse activities?
Well, the main goal of those companies, those group of people in the companies, for managers, the boards, the executive, they need the resiliency of the business resilience.
Right.
That's why the many companies, the mature companies, they has kind of enterprise risk management program. But there is still problem in many of these companies. companies, they don't consider cyber risk and cyber risk management as the part of enterprise risk management problem. They think it's kind of IT issues, but this is actually not only IT issues, but because we see lots of cases where IT attacks brings causes the downtimes and the ransom payment cost of like millions of dollars. That's why those kind of risks should be included into enterprise risk management program. This is why we, for example, in our company, we try to deliver the threat information we detect not only in a technical way but also in a kind of business way, to show that in money, to show that in high level risk changes, the benchmark risk in the industry. That's the we need to. This is our way to speak in the language of executive and boards.
Well, do the board members now understand the criticality of OT security, or it is very hard for the CISOs to make them understand?
Oh, it's a good question. Depends again. Depends on the country, on the region, and especially in Middle East, they very well understand the risk.
Okay.
They very well understand the risk. They're quite mature in that, and it's not like 10 years ago or 20 years ago we had to spend lots of time to explain that the risk exists, that it's possible to happen. Now they see all over the news the incidents like Colonial Pipeline, the ransomware stopped the oil transportation, the lots of states in the United States. We see the Locker Goga that stopped business in North Sky Hydro, the WannaCry, the NotPetya, they stopped businesses, including the industrial and critical infrastructure. So this in not only in some kind of IT news, it's in like media for businesses as well. And they see that, they understand the risk. What they want a solution. They want it in automated way. They want to understand their real posture, not just this is what we have. This is all attacks and vulnerabilities we detected. So what? How in an effective way we can reduce those risks? This is the problem: prioritization and automation of risk management.
You raised a point about internal employees and external attacks. To what extent you are seeing that internal employees are responsible for the pilferage, the attacks happening, and if it is happening, if they are responsible, are those incidents happening knowingly or unknowingly? Some phishing attempts happening, and these people are becoming victim to that. In that process, the entire company is suffering.
Well, sometimes employees might be the source of the problem unintentionally, just not following the rules,
That's right,
being
yeah.
overloaded, being, there is a kind of, being tired, because people are not robots. They sometimes break rules and do mistakes, make mistakes. And that's why this is one of the problems. That's why it's important to automate security process enforcement, to unload them. We often hear that security is everyone's problem. This is not completely correct. If people in the company responsible for doing their own business, if you load them with lots of security responsibilities, they will start making mistakes. That's why we need to automate many of these things. Automate the endpoint security and automate the network security. And another case when it's intentional, they have a kind of problem with the law. When we try to get money from the company, they have disgranted when they're disgranted to the company. That's a different situation. That's important to monitoring the whole life cycle of employment management in the company, starting from hiring, the development, monitoring their activities, how they behave, and so on. This is also the HR security. It's very connected with IT security and OT cybersecurity. And when those people have access to managing OT system, the control system, it's also important. It's very critical. It's a different one. So the more, and now we see that in many companies, they just don't have that information for forensics. If the bad thing happened, they cannot say what was the reason. Like they can say it was just fault of this equipment, not and cannot see that this is what activity of some person or some employee. That's important. They monitor. The more monitoring, the better. Suspicious activity, malicious activity. Yeah, this is my way to see that.
And whose responsibility is it? You are throwing it on the management to do this, do the things correctly, managing the employees, handling the employees, their psychology, their awareness. So my question is here about the awareness. One thing that you said that about monitoring, about handling that, but if there is no awareness about what to do, what not to do, isn't
Yeah.
it? What is the role of the vendors then?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mention that, but if you see, well, monitoring is just one part of this kind of insider threat management
Correct.
process. If you see there is a malicious behavior, you can correct it. You can
Yeah.
correct it with awareness.
Yeah.
Maybe this malicious, suspicious activity because person does know the right way to do it.
Right.
I believe in training. I believe in awareness, raising awareness, but I more believe in automation. Of course, people can do whatever they want to do, but if there is some constraint, some restriction with automation, you just cannot go there. You cannot try that because, like, let me give you some basic example. We always hear that don't click some
Unknown.
suspicious links.
Yes.
But we all work with internet. We always click links.
Yeah.
If we will check, validate every link, no one does that. That's
one,
the thing.
yes.
No one. How we can? But they might be malicious. That's why we need the good endpoint solution, good security solution, good proxy solution that will do this security for you. Really, I of course sometimes I see the emails and suspicious links, but I don't do that 100%. I don't need 24 hours. Sometimes I click links where I don't know, but I have my security solution in place at home, at work, in industrial environments. That's the thing. This is we have to train people, but more important is monitor and automate the security processes. That's what I try
Is there
to
any
say.
process?
But
to-
if we say, if
Yeah.
we talk about users, not about security people, this is a different story about training them to do right things.
Okay, you are an expert.
Yeah.
Nozomi networks, you personally, you are observing, you are seeing what is happening in the industry. Is there any process? IT is being affected, and before it goes to OT, does it get isolated? Can it be isolated completely? OT will be, will be sandbox so that the effect won't reach OT.
Well, this is actually the right way to do.
Okay.
To isolate, to contain the threat. This
But
is
how do you know that it has already started, the virus has started moving? I mean, it happens very at the tap of your finger, isn't it? Once you tap on the suspicious email or suspicious button, then it spreads like wildfire.
This is the case where you need automation.
Right.
For example, we does that with our solution and integration our solution with policy enforcement solution like firewalls, network access control. If we see some suspicious session, for example, we can initiate deploying the firewall rule. Like there is a suspicious activity, please block this. But again, it should be implemented carefully in OT environment.
Right.
If you sometimes when you automate, you can do the false positive. You can block something. That's why some threat detection mostly semi-automated. So it was detected, it was delivered to the person, the responsible person, security person, and he or she must decide what to do next. That's the way. But again, it less automated, less
AI driven thing?
yes, but it takes time again.
Uh-huh.
But this is the way to avoid the risk of interruption of the operational technology process.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the important part to find the balance between automation and safety.
Right.
Security, automation, and safety. Yeah.
So what is the role of AI then?
AI, the main rule of AI and machine learning in particular is to help automate the big data analysis, to making decisions, solving problems, all of that. And for us, for example, it might be help. The more attack we have, the more digital system we have in place, the more data we have.
Huh.
The normal behavior data, the threat data, and the more power we need to process it, correlate it, find patterns in attack. This is where we need the AI. AI can make it. It can see the patterns, can see the correlate different aspects of vulnerability, alerts, assets, and say this is suspicious situation. Do something about this. This is the insights of AI. We also, for example, employ AI for process anomaly, process variable anomaly detection. We see the process variables like speed, pressure, some this kind of physical characteristics, and we correlate them, and we build the baseline of normal behavior. If there is any deviation from that, we notify. So this is where AI plays crucial role as well.
So what is advice? What is the advice of Nozomi networks from the deployment of solutions?
Well, it's important to make it consistently and one step at a time. Try to start small. Start with the first thing is the asset inventory. You cannot protect what you don't know about. So first of all, do the right assessment, the right asset discovery, and then start understand.
So that solution lies with you. You have that solution, visibility of your assets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you know what you have. You know what do you have, how that communicate to each other, and then you can go to next step, the segmentation, the isolation of the components, make it more manageable. This is the approach. Then you can automate it at the level of CM and log management. So now you have lots of you have data about assets, you have segmentation, you have threats detection. This is the third part, and now you have lots of information. You need to aggregate it somewhere. You need to analyze. You have to respond to them. This is where the CM system, log management system, come into place. So asset discovery is the first step, and this is basically the first step in many frameworks, security frameworks, regulations, standards start with asset discovery and asset management. So this is my kind of advice.
All right. Then the company provides a platform then to any organization, to your customer, or is it the situation where the customer has got different solution, maybe OT protection from other vendor, and they are procuring, they are buying say monitoring solution from Nozomi, and it can intertwine and talk to each other?
Yeah.
Is it a best case scenario, or the customer needs to have the entire platform from Nozomi?
That's one of the cases. We know that many of our customers, they have some cybersecurity infrastructure already, IT infrastructure already. They have some data. They have some response capabilities, and they need some data. That's why we pay huge attention to integration capabilities. Integration capabilities for getting data, for example, for ingress asset discovery, we can get asset data from other solutions to enrich data we already have, or egress and policy enforcement capability. For example, we can send data to integrate to CM systems, to firewalls, to network access controls, to remote access services. So we don't do directly any policy enforcement. We don't do active protection. We don't block anything. But with that, we have those integrations with existing system on the customer side. So this is our approach.
All right. So I think this is a good piece of insights from you as far as IT and OT technologies are concerned. Finally, what is your plan? How are you focusing your strategies for 2025? We just, as far as the finance year is concerned, most of the globally finance year starts from April, I believe. So what's your focus in this region for this this year, 2025?
Well, Middle East has always been the important one of the important markets for
Okay.
us. Successful again because of huge amount of critical infrastructures here, oil and gas in the region. And what I like more in this region that the companies quite mature here in cybersecurity, and they're very aware of existing solutions, and that's it's a very competitive environment that makes all us, of course, better. We learn a lot. We get a lot of feedback from our clients here to improve a solution and make and become even better. And we continue invest in this market. We're growing in terms of clients, partners, and our team. So we will do that in the future.
All right, Anton, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much for sharing insights with our audience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.